Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the Enotri Kitchen. We are getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, just around the corner. St. Patrick's Day, what comes to mind other than a lot of happy Irish leprechauns jumping around? A pub night. A pub night and all the wonderful things which I normally enjoy even outside of St. Patrick's Day, believe it or not. We have our own little pub tradition in Germany. But let's focus on what we know over here. So with that in mind, why do we go to a pub in general? It's the thing about being together with friends, so a sense of conviviality, of belonging. It's a sense of maybe family. It's a sense of
meeting new people. Meeting new people.
Basically, even if it's strangers, these are simply friends that we haven't met before. Being playful, lighthearted, and new beginnings as well sometimes. Especially after a rough day, we go to a pub just to forget about it and get a fresh start. So with that in mind, Wes and I put our heads together. Wes, what did you come up with respect to a menu?
Well, again, it's going to the pub. Any one of these wines that we're going to choose is something that I'm going to go ahead and start the evening with, share with my friends, and the menu that we're going ahead and presenting is what you're going to end up having as on the menu at any pub that you go to. And what you're going to find, and even what our guests here that are going to sample the food, is that these wines pair so well with a lot of the different pub options. And it's something that you're going to enjoy a good bottle of wine. It's going to go great with the food, and it's going to go ahead and set the evening for just a wonderful time with new friends and old friends alike.
I think I have to talk a little bit faster because the stove is telling us you're getting ready to cook.
Yes.
But, so with all of that in mind, so basically what you're describing is comfort food. This is why you go to a pub. It is not a Michelin-starred restaurant experience. It is simple food, delicious, prepared with love and caring. That is, to me, that is what a basic good pub experience is like. So outside of your Guinness experience, you might want to have a little bit of a switch, and you might ask, what kind of wines could go with that food? Well, there certainly, we can take that approach and analyze it to death, but you know what, in my experience, wine doesn't want to be analyzed. It doesn't want to be rated. It simply wants to be enjoyed in company. For me, the best bottle of wine is the one that we're enjoying with a friend, with family, other than being alone. So the wines that I chose today, and also going back in my own memory when my wife and I stood in the kitchen and cooked together, not to your level, but we did our best.
Yes.
So we never said, okay, we're going to make steak today, we're going to make what a battered cod today, and what wine should we choose for that? We said, what are we in the mood for? So we let our own mood decide what we're going to open that particular day. I always cook with wine. Sometimes I even put it in the food. But it is basically the mood, right? And it's this sense of being in good company. So what I brought today, 5 of our harmonious Enotri wines in our portfolio. We have a beautiful Spanish Grenache blend from Monsant on the east coast of Spain. We have a Malbec from the birthplace of Malbec, of that grape variety, southwest of France. We have a Pinot Grigio, but not any Pinot Grigio. We have a very, very singular Pinot Grigio, where they leave the grapes sitting on the skins for 12 hours to extract that beautiful Ramato copper color into the wine, also adding complexity and structure. We have a beautiful Muscadet. It's not a grape variety, it's a region in France, close to the Atlantic Ocean, that produces this very singular style of wine. And last but not least, a wonderful Sauvignon Blanc from the west coast of South Africa. Free and wild, it is just delightful, very, very easy drinking, and very versatile. These are all these wines. So my hope, my idea is when we enjoy the delicious food that you're preparing with our friends. We're going to try all 5 wines. Maybe there's a favorite of these wines. I'm sure, because I did pre-taste, I will like every single one of them with everything you prepare. So with that, let's get cooking.
Yes, and even before we start the cooking, to let you know, you're going to be able to go ahead and enjoy these Enotri wines at a lot of different pubs and restaurants, Edmonton, Red Deer, and Calgary. So they're very, very accessible.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and start our cooking today with a traditional Scotch egg, or at least my interpretation of it anyway. So what I actually have here is uncooked sausage. So this is actually kind of like a hot Italian sausage. But you know what's usually very traditional is like a Cumberland sausage from England. It's very savory. I purposely chose the hot Italian just because with the relative neutral flavor of the egg, believe it or not, I wanted something a little more with a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick to go ahead and contribute to the flavor of the Scotch egg overall. So we have our sausage, we have some boiled eggs, and as you can see, sometimes even chefs don't make the most perfect eggs, but these are kind of like a 4-minute soft boiled egg, because obviously there's going to be some carryover cooking as we go ahead and bread them and go ahead and get that golden crust. I have, roughly some of the things for here, my little breading station. Also going to go ahead and make traditionally it comes with a mustard sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and do just like a basic sauce that would take you literally a minute or 2 in your own kitchen at home, with some, good quality mayonnaise and some really nice Dijon mustard. And again, it's one of those things that a nice English pub or a nice pub will normally have, and it's a great little treat to enjoy your wine with. So we're going to go start here. Again, I just washed my hands here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this sausage meat, and you want to go ahead and take a good handful. We're probably looking at 3/4 of a cup, maybe in ounce size. Probably close to about 3-4 ounces. And we're going to go ahead and create a nice little circle on our plastic here, because this plastic is going to go ahead and help us wrap the sausage around the egg. Kind of flattening it out here, and I'm going to do 2 at a time here. So again, we're looking at roughly about 3, maybe 4 ounces. All depends how much you'd like, how much sausage on each egg. All right. So as you can see, we have our 2 here. We're going to go ahead and put the eggs in the center, and then using the plastic, we're going to go ahead and wrap our egg and get it right around. And as you can see, we have our great little meatball here. You'd be surprised, it's not a very difficult thing to do, but the flavors are fantastic. Okay. No, there's the foundation. I'm even going to go ahead and make this a little more egg-shaped. Okay. All right, so next part, we're going to go ahead and start our little breading station. Flour, egg wash, and I'm using panko breadcrumbs right now. Thank you. So, flour, egg wash, and panko breadcrumbs. And we're going to go ahead and lightly flour our sausage and egg. That generally does help the binding or the egg wash. And go ahead and coat our Scotch egg ready for deep fry. We'll do the second one. And flour. Egg wash. Use my wet hand, keep one hand wet, one hand dry. A little bit of breadcrumbs. Scotch egg number 2. As you can see how easy it is. All right, next part, it's as simple as we're gonna go ahead and use our deep fryer. So come over to the deep fryer with me. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and deep fry the Scotch eggs like they normally do in a restaurant or pub. Right now we'll get 2 of them in there. We have the oil at 375 degrees. And really, we are simply looking for browning that crust. Here, as you can see, it's a home deep fryer, so it's not as deep as a commercial fryer here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it once we get one side nicely browned. And then normally we're going to go ahead and, to make sure that the sausage is completely cooked, I'll put it in the oven for, 3 to 5 minutes, 350 degrees. Obviously we don't want to go ahead and, overcook our Scotch egg. But as you can see, getting some nice color here. Okay, got to stop playing with it. Let it fry, and this is a great opportunity to enjoy the Malbec with this with the Scotch egg right now. And this works extremely well with very popular air fryers that a lot of people have in their homes. To be honest with you, if you want to go ahead and even dry roast this, so once you actually go ahead and get it breaded, you can also simply put it in the oven, and you can actually put it on bake, especially if a convection oven, put it on the convection setting, and you'll get another great product here. So, but I want to go ahead and do the frying this time around, and because it's very, very much what you would normally get in the pub. So as you can see, nice golden brown. And I'm just going to use my slotted spoon here, slotted utensil. We have the great color. And we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. It'll be ready very shortly, and we're going to go ahead and start our mustard sauce. All right, so next step here, our Scotch egg is ready for plating here. One thing we're going to go to next is our mustard sauce. So I actually went ahead and chose a olive oil based mayonnaise. I just love the olive oil flavor with this. A nice French Dijon mustard, and honestly, you get a lot of flavor from both, and you don't have to actually go ahead and add salt and pepper to it. That has great natural flavor already. But I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. I love the flavor of parsley. It's gonna add a little bit of freshness and fresh herbs to sauces like this, salads. It just adds an extra punch that people, believe it or not, really, really love, and they don't even expect when you add some of these fresh herbs to dishes that you would like even a Caesar salad, and they taste it and it's like, wow, where'd this flavor come from? That's Caesar salad. A lot of it is fresh herbs, fresh chives, fresh onions. So throw a little bit of parsley on here. Gonna go ahead and chop some of this up. And honestly, it's just a rough chop. You don't have to go too fine. Perfect. Gonna go ahead and add some to our sauce. Go ahead and mix it up. Now, as a young recent graduate of the Culinary Institute of America, I actually was very fortunate to work for a certified master chef in Columbus, Ohio, Chef Hartmut Henke. And one thing that he stressed for me, especially when plating, is there's no need for these extra glasses of sauce on your plates, right? If you're going to go ahead and have something like this to put, an aioli or a sauce like that, it should have, let's say, something edible. So it could be, a pepper cut in half and the seeds taken out, and you put the sauce in that, or something along those lines, or even just putting the sauce on the plate itself. Keep these extra little bits of glass and plastic out of it. So with that spirit, we're going to go ahead and just put a little shot like that. And again, you know what? Just the stroke of the spoon with a little bit of fresh herbs, and it looks as awesome as that. We're going to go ahead and go to the oven, get ourselves our Scotch eggs. All right. Here we go. Many ways you can serve it. You can serve it simply just like this. I like to go ahead and I'm going to use my serrated to go ahead and give it a nice cut. With our mustard sauce. And as you can see, our Scotch egg. Bon appetit.
The flavors are amazing.
The sauce.
Simple, hey?
Beautiful.
Oh, by the way, this is a fantastic opportunity to introduce our gracious host for the Enotri Kitchen, Kelly.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
son,
for cooking.
her son Jesse. So Kelly, as it turns out, we go a little bit into the bon vivant a day or a little bit later, maybe after another 5 glasses of wine. It just happens to be a little bit more fluid at that point in time. But I believe we all have a different wine in our glass right now. Well, actually, Kelly and Wes, I think you will have the Malbec. Jesse opted for the Pinot Grigio Ramato. And I have the Muscadet. What is your impression?
It is beautiful.
Together with the food.
It is beautiful.
Malbec is so nice. What a wonderful little treat.
I think any of these wines are good pairings with it. It's beautiful. Any of the 5 on the table.
Great. So the idea here is also we have very, very flavorful dishes.
So much flavor.
The flavors are in harmony. There's a beautiful heat from the mustard, and also I think a little bit from the spicy sausage maybe. The texture is amazing. So any of these wines, we have a Malbec, we have a Pinot Grigio Ramato, we have the Muscadet, which by the way is a wine. The origin of this grape variety is the Melon grape variety, and it used to be known as Melon de Bourgogne, so that is the birthplace of this grape. And about 400 or 500 years ago, the very powerful, mighty Duke of Burgundy, who was the second most powerful person in France after the king, decreed that Melon was supposed to be ripped out of the vineyards in Burgundy to be replaced by Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. And then he also decreed that these vines, the Melon vines, were supposed to be replanted in the vineyards around Nantes, so close to the part of the Loire Valley, the western part, close to the city of Nantes and the Atlantic Ocean. So, and not by design, but somehow this grape variety then ended up having this specific style of wine called Muscadet de Sèvres et Maine. These are the 2 main rivers there that are tributaries to the Loire. Sur-lie. What sur-lie means that the wine, after the grapes, after they're pressed, they're sitting on the lees for a minimum of 6 months, a maximum of about 15 months. So what that does is it adds more complexity and richness to this white wine. What this family Gadet has done with the Perrier Monopole, which is a single vineyard plot, they went over and above the allowed 15 months. So this wine actually spent 18 months on its lees. So with that, if somebody told me in a blind tasting that this was a white Burgundy, I would probably not argue. It cannot be called surly because it's going beyond that allowed limit. But once again, it has this beautiful structure. And when I do tastings in restaurants, I like to throw curveballs at people. And the first item, and I do not know what wrote me at that point in time, but I convinced that restaurant to say, for their tasting menu, I said, serve this wine with your steak feet.
Mm-hmm.
So they looked at me, but they trusted me. I was the most popular pairing of that evening. So this is the style because of the richness and the complexity, easily something that you can pair with a red meat flavorful dish. So I love it with this flavor profile as well.
What I really appreciate, Eberhard, is the fact that a lot of care goes into Enotri wines, so that when I go out with friends, family, and we know Enotri wines are being served at the establishment, I know I can pretty much pick any one of them and it'll be experience.
Thank you.
And you've done all the legwork, so thank you.
Well, I did the tough part is being done by our growers, right? All I can do is be their representative in the market here, be their storyteller, and be uncompromising in the way we put our portfolio together. And the real care also went into the preparation of this dish. And those are synergies. You match the synergy and the care of the grower with that of the chef, and only beautiful things can happen.
All right. Let's look at our next course. Next thing we're going to get started on is our fish and chips part, but we're going to work on the chip aspect of it. So I'm not going to do a traditional, French cut potato. I'm deciding to go ahead and do kind of a herb roasted potato wedge. It's actually something we like to go ahead and make every Saturday, Sunday morning for, big breakfast with friends and family. And I thought, what a nice little change to the regular fish and chips. So we're going to go ahead and show you what we do as a family, generally every weekend. So usually start with russet potatoes. I love russets because it's one of those sort of potato. You get a nice roasted, caramelized flavor when you roast them, and they're just that puffy, for lack of a better term, like the fluffiness of the interior once you get through that roasted caramelization. And it's just something I really enjoy. So as you can see here, I pretty much went ahead and did some chopping beforehand, but I was just going to show you, essentially what we do with a regular size. This is more of a smaller russet potato. Normally I'll start in half, and then I'll cut half in half, and then I'll cut the quarter into eighths. So you have, nice that goes on the plate, but it's also cooks faster than, let's say, a larger potato slice. So put this here in the bowl with the others. And these have just been proven really, really popular with everyone. Using a little bit of olive oil here, and their reality. We know that extra virgin olive oil, as you apply heat to it, you're going to lose a lot of the extra virgin flavor. But at the end of the day, when I went ahead and purchased this for home use, this was the same price as olive oil that doesn't have half of the flavor. So for the same price, I'm not losing out by just starting with this and going like that. So it's the reason I started here. And to be honest, I have about 4 or 5 of these small russet potatoes in here. And I've probably just put in there about 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Right here I have just a seasoning salt that we're going to go ahead and put on the potato. I love my dried thyme. Of course, if you have, a herb garden where you can use fresh thyme, by all means. And then I had easy access to fresh parsley that we'll go ahead and put in it. And of course, I love my fresh cracked pepper, staple. A lot of times at home we use kosher salt or sea salt. We love the kosher salt, but because of the seasoning salt, we don't have to add any extra. All right, so we have potatoes in our bowl, and we'll just go ahead and toss them lightly. Get them well covered with all the seasonings and the herbs. And just going to go ahead and use here a hotel pan. And one thing I want to show you A lot of times at the hotel pan, people go ahead and just put the ingredients in there. I like to go ahead and put just a piece of foil for easy cleaning, you know, so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. You have it on this foil. And what's interesting, people always are asking, which side of the foil up? Is it the shiny side or is it the more rough side? Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. The difference between the two is simply, as they manufacture this, the rollers on one side here take the shiny and dull it off. So that's the only reason why one side is dull and one is shiny. So just want to go ahead and share that little fact with you. So as you can see, that was loud. Go ahead and put it, but don't forget, there's a lot of flavor still here in the bowl. So don't be afraid to go ahead and use a slotted spatula or a spatula. Go ahead and do that. We're gonna put this in the oven, 350, 375, takes about 20 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven right now, and then we're gonna get started on our fish. Next thing we're gonna start working on is our battered cod. Now, you know, traditional English pub fish and chips, haddock, cod, two very, very popular whitefish that are used. Some of the pubs that I like to frequent may even go ahead when they're when they can get a good price, halibut, but that's the king of fish, of course. But we've gone ahead and I've got a nice fresh fillet of cod here. You know, to be honest with you, there are some, you know, just some very basic rules that I go ahead and live by when I am working with fish. You know, when I have a nice fresh fillet like this, I always keep it as cold as possible. So in the fridge, if I'm going to be keeping it for a day or two, I'll even in the restaurants put it on ice. So you know, temperature is very key to keeping your any type of fish as fresh as possible. So you know, I literally just pulled this out of the refrigerator before we started filming here. So we have a nice thick fillet of cod, as you can see here, and you know, even with you know, with fish, it's still very important to make sure that you go ahead and look for any pin bones, because obviously when you're doing fish and chips, it is one of the assumptions that you know, individuals don't have to go ahead and worry about possibly a bone in the fillet, but you just want to go ahead and make sure, as a chef and one that cares, you go ahead and make sure you take a look at all the pin bones are out of it. I purposely love the size of this cod here because it's a nice thick fillet. And you got to remember, like I said last video with the shrimp, you know, fish, you know, shrimp, lobster, crab, they cook quickly. So it's you know, very important here that you don't overcook your seafood, whatever you're using. So what I'm going to do here is just quickly go ahead and cut it into you know, chunks that we want to go ahead and enjoy on our plate here. So as I'm kind of looking here, I'm just going to follow this natural seam. And I actually felt a bone. So very important. Good. So just going to go ahead and cut couple of nice size portions here that we're going to go ahead and batter up. Go ahead and let's just finish cutting. These are very thin, so obviously it's going to cook a lot faster. But I love these thick ones. That's a big mama jama, isn't it? Let's cut it there. Very good. Okay. So next part, basic batter. So what I actually have here is a combination of all-purpose flour. So 4 parts all-purpose flour to 1 part cornstarch. So I have that here. I also went ahead and put in about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So it's going to be a leavening agent. In addition to, we're going to be going ahead and using sparkling water. So we have our naturally sparkling water, and we have club soda. And to be honest with you, the basic difference between the two is natural sparkling water. It actually gets its sparkling tendency naturally. from the earth, where club soda is artificially sparkling. That's kind of the major difference. But also don't forget, because this is natural, you're going to get a lot of different minerals and things like that from the region that it's actually in. So don't forget, here we're using Pellegrino, you can use Perrier, many different types of sparkling water, but they're going to actually have that kind of mineral characteristic from the terroir that they come from. So we're going to go ahead and use the Pellegrino here. Now, some recipes go ahead and tell you X amount of liquid. To be honest with you, I like to go ahead and kind of free pour so that I get to a batter that coats kind of like the back of the spoon or a utensil. So I have my whisk here. I'm just going to go ahead and slowly add some of the Pellegrino here, being cognizant of the thickness. And again, we want to avoid lumps. To be honest with you, if you're looking for a measurement for 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, you could be looking at anywhere between 12 and 16 ounces of liquid. And as you can see here, I may have actually added a little too much. We'll see. I have my trusty spoon here just to kind of show. So it does coat the back of the spoon, but it is a little loose. So I have a little bit of extra flour here. And something that we're very familiar with, like a pancake batter, you're looking for roughly that same consistency. So as you can see, even at the ribbons that are taking place as I go ahead and make this batter, that's what you're looking for. So as you can see, it's much thicker, and that's what we're looking for on our fish. Of course, when you go to the pub, good chance they might use a Guinness, a lager, a microbrewery, brewer, whatever they want to showcase. We went ahead and simply want to show you a simple batter. So, to be honest with you, as we go ahead and go forward here, what I'm going to essentially do is lightly flour our fish. I'm going to take it in the batter, and then right into my deep fryer, I'm going to lower the basket so that way I can go ahead and put the battered fish into the hot oil, and that way it doesn't stick to the bottom of the mesh basket there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right. So next step, I'm going to focus on the larger pieces of cod here because I'm getting very excited about those. And I'm going to go ahead and again keep one hand dry, one hand wet. Coat the fish in the batter. Again, you can use tongs to do this, but I have the safety of it's going to go ahead and be cooked in the deep fryer here, so I'm able to safely go ahead and use my hand. So we have the batter, and I'm going to go ahead and one, and the oil is 375 degrees, and as you can see, they're actually starting to go ahead and float. It's going to take, at this temperature, roughly about 4 or 5 minutes to go ahead and cook. And we actually have our tool here to go ahead and possibly flip it if we need to go ahead and make sure it's golden brown on both sides. And again, as I'm going ahead and watching my deep frying, I'm actually enjoying the Cabernet Sauvignon that we're featuring tonight. And what's lovely about this is just the aroma and the flavor. Simply put, it just kind of explodes in the mouth. It's got so much like a punch of a flavor. And this is going to go fantastic with the fish and our herb roasted potatoes as well. So as you can see, it's frying very, very nicely. Combination of the cornstarch and flour should result in a nice crispy texture of the fish. As we can see, it is looking a little light on top. Just going to take a... Oh, it stuck to the bottom a little bit, but shit. Okay, Sid.
All right, so we're at the part where I went ahead and deep fried all of our fish in the batter, and they turned out really, really nice. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and create our kind of classic tartare sauce. And the traditional ingredients are sweet onion, fresh parsley, capers is generally a must with classic tartare, sweet pickles. A lot of times we use sweet relish here in Canada, the United States, and that works out really good. And I've gone ahead and, again, my olive oil mayonnaise, which I really, really enjoy. And, another crucial thing is lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead here and put a little bit of lemon juice. The lemon juice obviously is a flavor enhancer. The lemon flavor in there is fantastic. It also, believe it or not, actually helps cut out some of the fishiness, of the fish itself. So it has a couple of different things on top of just tasting really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and I roughly put about a tablespoon of lemon juice in there. So we'll go ahead and bring all of our components together. And again, fresh parsley, the capers, the sweet pickles, the lemon juice. And as you can see, nice thick sauce to go with your battered fish. If you can go ahead and cover it, for instance, and have it in the fridge, let it kind of sit in the fridge for the flavors to go ahead and combine a little bit longer. Fantastic. Same concept. What I'm going to go ahead and do is paint our plate with a nice little bit of sauce here. Put a little bit of parsley. And I'm going to go to the oven, take out our roasted potatoes. So as you can see here, caramelizing, the smell of the herbs, the thyme, the seasonings, just outstanding. And just a nice alternative to our French fries. Nice caramelization, and that fluffiness on the inside. And generally we'll go ahead and have two wonderful slices. Put a little bit of garnish. And, don't forget a little bit of extra lemon. A cutting board is for cutting, not for keeping things on top. All right. One thing that's really important is, how often have you gone out for a nice dinner, you get a lemon wedge with your dinner, or even with a cocktail, and there's seeds in it. Just these little things, to go ahead and add some care to, the experience of your diners. Not only are you making sure there's no bones in the seafood, but no seeds in that lemon that you're going to garnish your fish with. And as you can see, nice little traditional pub dish that goes fantastic with all of the Enotri wines that we featured here. So from Chef Wes, bon appetit, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. And Enotri wines, of course. Take care.
I can see that there are a couple of things I picked up on when you described what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there was the thyme with the potatoes, right? The parsley and the lemon with the tartar sauce.
Mhm.
So the two wines that I'm playing around with back and forth are the Mastones, Grenache-based blend out of Monsanto, because it has that beautiful herbaceousness. And then of course the Sauvignon Blanc, how can you go wrong with Sauvignon Blanc and any kind of a citrus? Cutting through, and it's not greasy at all, like I said, this is
No.
amazing.
Beautiful.
But you know, you're cutting through the flavors of the tartar sauce and the fish. So, and you know, it's not a question of, it's not a competition, what is better, what is worse. It is trying to show everyone that there's more than all paths lead to Rome. So you can go the path of the red wine, you can go the path of the white wine. At the end of whatever you feel. Right now, I'm probably, both are beautiful. I'm gravitating towards the white, simply because that's what I feel like right now.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So, you know, wine, the life of a bon vivant is basically somebody that likes to socialize. Look, we're sitting around in a beautiful little round here. First time I met you, so second time I met you. I'm still gonna talk to you. But the point is that wine is people ask me sometimes, what does wine mean to you? The quick answer to that is wine is love. It covers all the aspects. What I love about the world of wine is the versatility. We're different people from different backgrounds. We enjoy different things. We enjoy different colors. And we have different opinions. But when we share these opinions, and when we have a dialogue about our different opinions over a nice bottle of wine, it's all good. Hopefully, it is not a debate, it's a dialogue, and the idea about a dialogue is that we all change our positions a little bit, and we're going to be a different person after the dialogue than before we went into it. And that truly is, these are all the ingredients to be a bon vivant, somebody that socializes, works hard, but also enjoys the good things in life. And there's nothing better than good food, good drink, good company. Thank you.
Cheers to that. Yeah.